Hey everyone, I'm MacKenzie and I teach 3rd grade in California, and this is my 9th year teaching. On this channel, I share teacher tips and advice, so if you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to follow along and click that subscribe button. And if you are not new here, I am so happy you're joining in on today's video. I know I always find it helpful seeing what other teachers do on the first day of school, so today I'm going to walk you through my entire first day of school plans from 8:30 all the way to 3 o'clock. So before we get started, I would really appreciate you clicking that thumbs up button. That really does support my channel. Now let's go ahead and jump right into it. So 8:30 is the arrival and welcome. I usually walk outside, I greet my students at where they line up with the rest of the school and walk them to the classroom. And then at the door, I just greet them and they go to their seat. I always like to have some seat work. This year, I plan on using a coloring page and have a name tag that I have made for them where they can actually color it. And I'll also include their little pencil box with all of their supplies so they can get started on that right away when they walk in. I will have a welcome slide for them that tells them to get started on coloring their name tag or work on their coloring page so they have something to do right away and just kind of ease those nerves. And after a few minutes of them coloring quietly, I usually introduce myself. I say, well, welcome to 3rd grade, everybody. I am so happy you're here. And then I go into attendance. So I like to actually print out a checklist with all of my students' names. I do that so that I can make little notes about if they go by a nickname or little pronunciation clues to help me remember how to pronounce their name correctly. After attendance, I go straight into a welcome slideshow about 3rd grade. And to start it off, I just introduce myself with some fun facts about myself. This is a little bit about what my All About Me slideshow looks like, just so that they can get to know me. It breaks the ice. They are able to just listen. I put in a lot of my favorite things, my favorite books, and just things that I love about 3rd grade, so that gets them excited. After I'm done with the Meet the Teacher slideshow, I always say, okay, now it's time to get to know a little bit about you, and then we'll play a little icebreaker game. At this point, it's usually around 9:20, and we're going to be going into our morning meeting and actually learning how morning meeting runs and some of our routines and procedures. So a big part of our morning is being able to greet each other appropriately, both at the door and during morning meeting. I like to show this little YouTube video of SpongeBob and Patrick greeting each other, and it's just a silly little video. It always makes them laugh. Patrick doesn't say SpongeBob's name correctly in the greeting, and so we talk a little bit about what were some things that SpongeBob and Patrick did well in their greetings, some things that they didn't do well, and what should we think about when we greet one another. And so they usually end up coming up with the expectations that greeting should be said with kindness and saying the person's name correctly. And after we watch the video, I usually have a couple students volunteer and come up to model what a good greeting looks like. Then I have students line up outside and act as if they just got to school, they have put up their backpacks, and they're about to enter our classroom and go to their morning meeting spots. So they greet me at the door. I usually greet them with some hand sanitizer in the morning, and then they go directly to their morning meeting spots where they have to be sitting quietly. Now, morning meeting, we sit in a full circle, so those spots are going to be different than their actual carpet spots, so we'll get to that later. And then once they're at the morning meeting spots, and I'm happy with how well they transition from the door to the carpet, because that might take a couple times, we talk about morning meeting. So I use responsive classroom structure, a greeting, a share, activity, and message, and I really like starting that structure the very first day. We just go in a circle for the first day. They'll say, good morning, class. My name is MacKenzie. And then the whole class will say, good morning, MacKenzie. And then they'll pass it to the next person so that we're all saying each other's names and practicing getting to know each other. So for the share on the first day, I like to make it very simple. So I'll usually have it be like, share your favorite color. If you feel your students could be up for it, maybe just share any fun fact that they want their classmates to know. And then for the activity, I play take off touchdown. And so I have the slides already ready. It will say little facts. So it will say take off if your favorite color is blue. And then those students will stand up really fast in the circle and then sit back down. And then we go into the morning message. So here's my morning message for the first day of school. I usually like to include some type of question at the end. So since it's the first day, I'm going to be asking them, how are you feeling about 3rd grade? And then I have these different emojis. I make this on a little anchor chart paper, and I give every student a little dot sticker, and they take turns going up and just placing their dot sticker with the emotion of how they're feeling. During morning meeting, when going over those expectations, I also like to go over just some hand signals right away. Of course, asking to go to the restroom, asking for a drink of water, if you have a question. So I do like to go over those hand signals as part of morning meeting as well. At this point, it's usually around around 9:50, maybe even approaching 10. For read alouds, I usually have them sitting at the carpet, so I give them all a carpet spot. I have them practice transitioning from their desk to the carpet. Once they're sitting at the carpet, their voices should be off. Now, keep in mind, I haven't actually introduced voice levels yet, which I'll be going into later. So I tell them to come to the carpet quietly from their desk. I'll dismiss table by table, and then I read to them First Day Jitters, which is, of course, a first day classic. We then go on our school tour. So I normally like to do this either with just my class, or maybe I'll pair up with another third grade classroom. And I like doing this before recess, ideally, if there's time, and especially if I have any brand new students to the school, so they know where the bathrooms are, where they're even supposed to go for a snack. I have them line up. We go on a quick little walk around the school, pointing out the bathrooms, where we're going to line up for snack, what we're going to do with our lunch boxes, go over some playground rules and expectations, and then make it back to the classroom in time to actually get our lunch boxes, get ready for a snack, and then I will walk them down to where they need to go for recess. So after recess, I go and pick them up. We come back into the classroom, and this is another good time to talk about what it looks like when entering the classroom after recess or after lunch recess. And so I always expect them to be quiet once we're in the hallways and lined up at the door. So I do not let my students in until their voices are off. And so I usually like to use the quiet coyote symbol. When they show me they're ready, then I'll start letting them into the classroom. Now, if they are really chatty when coming in after recess, I'm going to tell them, not going to get mad at them, but I'm just going to tell them, hey, you know what? We are going to try that again. I heard a few of you talking, and I know that we can do better than that, because in our classroom after recess, we come in quietly and go to our carpet spots to show me that you're ready to learn. So I just like to reinforce that expectation. So we'll line up again, come back inside, go to our carpet spots, and they're usually ready to go. At the carpet, I like to go over some carpet expectations as well. So now is the time where I read the book Decibella. This is a really cute story about a little girl who uses a very loud voice to talk. And I use this book to teach my students the different voice levels we use in our classroom. I have 5 different voice levels, and I have them always displayed, and I use a little magnet to point to what voice level we're supposed to be at. So with each voice level as a class, we discuss when we would use each one, what it should sound like, and then we practice. So I'll tell them, okay, show me a level 2, show me a level 1. I have them get up and walk around. So I also will teach them my quiet signal at this time. So I use a chime. It's very calming to me. I really like it. And so we practice that. So when I ring the chime, then they are supposed to freeze, have their voices off, and have their eyes on me. And so we practice that. I like to do it as a game. So they'll be like walking around the classroom. I tell them to like find a friend and tell them something you did over the summer, or find a friend and tell them your favorite animal. I'll ring the chime, and we'll practice freezing. I'll time them. I'll say, okay, this time you did it in 5 seconds. Let's see if you can do it in under 3 seconds, until they've gotten super good at it. That is something that I really hold to that expectation, and we practice a ton, especially that first week. So from 11:10 to 11:50, they're going to work on an All About Me page. This activity is a great opportunity to go over some of the school supplies that they have available to them, any community shared supplies, and those expectations. For this All About Me activity, I like doing the puzzle activity. And so this is when every student gets a puzzle piece. They're going to end up fitting all together, but on their puzzle piece, it will have different sections for them to show their interests and hobbies and fun facts and things they're excited about for 3rd grade, and really take their time to make it look nice and all about them. And we're going to be using that later in the week as we get to know each other. Now, as they're working on this puzzle piece, I'm going to take this as a chance to pull students one by one and take their first day of school picture, which always looks so cute. So I usually like to have a place in the classroom of their first day of school pictures, and I tie it in with a little banner that they do later in the week of their hopes and dreams. At around 11:50, I'll have them stop what they're doing. Many students might not have finished their puzzle piece, and so I will introduce them to their green unfinished work folder, where they keep any work that they have not completed. That is also where their coloring pages and their name tags, that they are still working on those, go for now, and they'll have time to finish those later. I'm going to do more of the takeoff touchdown as the brain break, and then talk about lunch expectations. So at this time, we'll talk about where we're going to go for lunch, what that's going to look like, and practice lining up at the door to get ready for lunch, to walk in the hallways at a level 0, because now we have that voice level language, and we can really practice lining up, being at a level 0 before we walk in the hallways and go to lunch. After lunch, I give them a little bit of quiet time. So quiet time is a way for them to kind of decompress after lunch, especially on those hot summer days. They will go to the carpet. I'll first explain what quiet time is, and throughout the year, I'll add different types of options and activities that they can do. For the first day, I tell them that coloring is an option, or even just resting your head, and I will put a timer on for 10 minutes. Sometimes I like doing like a mindfulness activity to just kind of calm them down, do some breathing exercises. So there's different activities I like to do for quiet time. For the first day, I like to have them work on their coloring page or anything in that green folder. At about 1:30, quiet time is over and they're going to come to the carpet, and I'm going to do another read aloud. This is my favorite read aloud to do on the first day of school. It is a letter from my teacher on the first day of school. After we read it, then I have them write a letter to me. I use this template. I'll link it down below. This is a great chance for me to also see a little bit of their writing to see where they're at. So as students complete their letters, I also show them where the turn-in bin is, because I have just one bin in my classroom where they turn in all completed classwork. From 2:15 to 2:30, we're going to play 60-second sketch. This is a fun drawing game where students have 60 seconds to draw a picture that I put on the screen. There's different rounds, like they might have to do it with their eyes closed. I got that off of TPT, and it is always a class favorite. From 2:30 to 2:45, I give them their packets that are given by the school with all of the papers that they need their parents to sign. It's always in their homework folder that they're going to use for the rest of the year. I include a little meet the teacher letter in there for them to give their parents, and anything else that I have for them, that's going to go in their backpack. So I usually will dismiss each table to get their backpacks to get all packed up. We practice cleaning up, talking about what a clean classroom is going to look like. And then once they are all cleaned up and sitting at their desks, we have a little closing circle to end our day. So we make one big circle in the classroom, just like we did for morning meeting. And there's different activities I'll do for closing circle. For the first day, I just have them rate how they felt their first day of third grade went, from a 0 to 5, 5 being super excited to be in third grade. And then the next day I'll introduce the big 3. So especially because I'm in third grade, I like to emphasize 3 a lot. And so we do the big 3 for the appreciation, apology, or aha from the day. So that's another fun way for closing circle. After closing circle, they put their chairs up, they line up, and then it's time to say goodbye. And we officially completed the first day of third grade. So that is what my first day of third grade is going to look like. I hope you found it helpful just taking a look at what I'm doing. I would love to know when your first day of school is, so make sure to comment that down below. I know some of us have already started. Maybe you're in August, that's when I start, or maybe you're one of those lucky few that get to start in September. If you are, I hope you're enjoying your summer. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye, friends.